culturally prescribed roles that men and women are to follow?
I believe that gender is determined by two biological factors, hormones and chromosomes.
So, we think that even though, as you said, biology is important in defining the roles, we act as we see other people act since we were little because of our role models, and those are imparted by society.
I disagree. I think that women and men act and they think and feel differently because of differences in how their brain works. These brain differences might result from chromosomal differences and may also result by hormonal differences. Men have testosterone and women have estrogen. And testosterone makes men act more manly, competitive, aggressive, and estrogen makes women act more womanly. This means motherly and passive and kind.
We think that you are right, talking about how that influences and about how the brain affects how they act, but also it's not just the brain, it's the mind, and that is influenced by your environment.
Although you say that testosterone and estrogen is a very important part on the roles, the biological nature may be like a rough piece of stone from which society, like a sculpture, chisels and sharpens and defines the shape of male and female behavior. Society is the one that makes up the mind of the human.
I agree, but I still think that hormones play a major part in this issue because they don't shape us, but they direct our actions.
Okay, well, by an article wrote by Alan Wolfe, The Gender Question, he observes that it's not exactly biological because it has been men that has subordinated women, and that has been changing. So if it was a biological thing, we would stay with the same gender roles and the same differences since years and 100 years ago instead of changing and evolving. Because as time passes, society changes with it. So it doesn't have to be biological since it's the society that changes, not exactly body parts.
I totally agree, but there's a study by Schowitz in 1995. They used MRI scans to examine women and men's brains, and it demonstrated that the hormones in there acted completely different, and it explained some actions like being more aggressive or being more passive.
I disagree with your point, although gender role, the definition is a theoretical construct involving a set of social and behavioral norms that within a specific culture are widely considered to be socially appropriate for individuals of a specific sex. So taking in part the social and behavioral norms are the ones that really take up the highest part. It's the base of the influence.
I agree. Well, biology makes us have different physical things, but there are differences in cognitive skills and behavior too, caused by the double X chromosomes that women have and the YX chromosomes that men have.
I agree with that point, especially with the hormones, but still, it's a conservative idea that what defines us is merely physical, since, as you said, hormones, they can be, and the female hormones and male hormones isn't the same in each person, and it's the way they act isn't only about that, but how they have been shaped since they were little, because the same way there are men that think that women are inferior, there are some men that think that women are equal, and they see still have the same amount of chromosomes that men should have and females should have, but they think differently because they have their own mind, their own opinions, and that is something biology doesn't give you by force.
Well, what the biological theory states is that the aspects of human behavior have been coded by our genes because they were, or are, our adaptive.
According to your point that the hormones are the one that make the gender differences, that's a really conservative idea. Those conservative ideas have kept gender roles strictly unbroken through the past. By following the biological basis, you cannot give yourself a wider range of thinking. It's the liberal ideas that have changed society through time. And that's the part that makes up gender differences, the way society changes.
I agree with your point. I think society has a really important part in gender roles, but I still think that biology is very important because our genetics were shaped by hunter-gatherers, ancestors, and things like that. So we were programmed, women were programmed to take care of the children and to be more passive and to have more communication skills. Men were programmed to hunt, gather, and take care of the village.
There was a study in 2013 where they asked families that they had women working in it, as well as the father, and if it made easier living. 28% said it was harder, but 67% said it was easier. So that means even though we were programmed to act that way, things can change. So when you try something new and that they realize it was better, it doesn't have to be women staying at home and taking care of the kids or cleaning the house. It even helps the family if women do the same jobs men are supposed to do since from time ago.
To support that argument, the same study said it was harder for marriages to be successful, and 35% said it was easier.
I agree. Now I think that both factors have a really important part in gender roles.
I agree with you. Both are equally important since both support each other.
Yeah.
Conclusions?
Both are important since one is influenced by the other.
That's for the entire team, or is there?
No, that's
No,
for the
no.
entire team. That's what we did 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Society makes you who you are for the rest of your life. Ideas and influences make up your mind, determine what you think.
But hormones play a big
very
role, so
important
that's
part.
the way you react to things.
Okay, thank you very much.